setting a goal to do Run Disney, or to get in better shape or be healthy, or fill in the blank with whatever your goal is. It's a journey, not a race.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Welcome to the Talk About the Magic podcast, where you'll find inspiration and encouragement tied together with the magic of Disney. Now, here's your host, Joseph Ballesteros.
What is going on, Magic Cheers? Welcome to another Talk About the Magic. I'm so grateful and thankful you decided to join me today. It's Sunday, which means, we got an interview today, and it's a good one. It's a personal favorite of mine. I actually met this person, of course, over Snapchat, because that's what the world has become, which is awesome, because I would never have been able to meet these wonderful Disney friends that I have had it not been for social media. But she is a runner. She's taken part in quite a few of the 5K and 10K over there with Disney Run. She's a part of the WDW radio running team, which we didn't get into in the interview, which is my fault. I'll take the fault for that, Kari. And but I'm excited because, as you guys know, I personally set off my own goal in the beginning of the year. I said, okay, every year we do this, right? Every year, everybody says something. Everybody has a goal that they want to reach. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, it's like already July, and you're like, wasn't I supposed to? And then in December, you're like, I can't remember what. And then January the next year, you're like, oh, right, I was going to want to do that. Oh, well. And so I found myself in that same problem. I started with the new year, and I set out my goals. And middle of February, I realized that for my own personal goal, which was, to lose 60 pounds, I was nowhere near, I was far from it. I was not doing what I needed to do. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't, eating right. I wasn't doing anything. And it kind of dawned on me. And so if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. But also in my stories, I kind of dedicated the stories as my own accountability. So if you're interested on my, seeing how my journey is going, you can always follow me on Instagram. Check out the stories there, and you'll see my little weight loss journey there. But like I said, it kind of came to the realization I need to get up and start going and doing what I set out to do. And that there's a lot of things that I'm actually behind on that I'm working on now. But that's why I wanted to have someone like Kari on the show. She goes into her story of how she kind of started with, doing the Disney runs, and of course how it kind of started, which a lot of us start off things that way, kind of just nonchalant, just, putting feet in the water, kind of just testing it out. Not going to make a big deal if I don't do it, and if I do it, well, not a big deal. But in the end, to see the dedication that she has had for it, and this, how serious she's become doing it, and it only is bettering her own health, her own, and the people around her, of course, because people now are looking at her and saying like, wow, how are you doing that? How did you do that? And that's why I have her on the show. Hopefully it'll motivate you guys. I know for me personally, I'm hopefully going to be going on a Disney cruise this year. And they have I believe it's a 5K over there on, oh no, don't tell me I forgot the name again. Castaway Cay. Woo! All right. I had a brain freeze during the show. Kari had to help me out. And yeah, so my wife and I said, okay, let's make a goal to do this. So I want to kind of, I'm not training for that, I should say, but that's something to look forward to, and hopefully I'll be able to run the 3 miles a lot easier than I can do now. So, but again, guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. The number one way to support the show is honestly to share it. Let other people know about it. Get them involved to listening to the interviews like this. And of course, Monday through Friday, we have the podcast there, just going over all the fun Disney that's going on with Disney. But that's really honestly one of the best ways to support it. But as far as all of the other kind of support, remember, you can always go to talkaboutthemagic.com/AmazonMagic. And if you go there, it'll take you to the Amazon page like normal, and you just basically go whatever you want. Buy whatever you want to buy that you're going to buy on Amazon anyway. But it does give credit to us here. So you can tell your friends and family, hey, even if they don't listen to the show, be sure if you're ordering from Amazon, go to talkaboutthemagic.com/AmazonMagic first. And then it'll take them. It won't even take them to my website. It'll take them to Amazon. They won't know the difference. And then, of course, we have Patreon, which is talkaboutthemagic.com/Patreon, Patreon. that's going to be the most like personal way you could really invest into the show, because you will be getting a lot more one-on-one with me and have kind of more of a say-so on how the show goes. And I'm working on something else that I don't know. I'm for some reason I'm really nervous about it, which I guess is a good thing, right? That means you should really kind of jump for it. But I've been basically talking myself out of it for like the past 2 weeks, and my wife is like kind of pushing me like, quit stalling and just do it.
Hello, Kari. Thank you so much for joining me today.
That I have on the show, but I'm working on it, and so
Yeah,
soon
thanks
you'll
for
be
the
hearing some news,
invitation.
hopefully. So
Not a problem.
I've been
a follower of you on Snapchat. That's where I believe we first got in contact through Snapchat. And then I kind of like stopped using. I do look at Snapchat occasionally, but I really got into Instagram. But of course, I'm following you on Instagram as well. I know about you. I know what you do. But why don't you tell the listeners just a little bit about who Kari is?
Sure. So, my name is Kari, and I am a huge Disney fan. Started from, very young with films, Cinderella, Mary Poppins, up through when I participated in the Walt Disney World College program, which was a lot of fun. And then up to today, where I'm a Walt Disney World annual pass holder. And I'm in the Tampa area, so I do frequent the parks quite a lot. So I'm very fortunate for that. And up till, I guess, today with my my latest passion, which is Run Disney.
Now, every time somebody tells me I live, 2 hours or an hour, 10 minutes away, I always get a little sad.
Yes. Yeah. I guess I consider myself a local. I'm pretty local.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a good perk.
Yeah. So now, but before we get into obviously what we brought you on today, because you have experience in something I think a lot of people might be interested in. But how did you do in the college program? How did you get into that? Did you enjoy it? What was that experience like?
Yeah, so that was, I was living in Arkansas at the time, going to college, and I just had this, I'd been to the parks once, I'd been to MGM Studios once, but after that, I went back to college, and I just had this feeling, just this draw of, I want to be at Walt Disney World. I don't know what it was, I never went as a child, but it was so bizarre because I was living in Arkansas with my family. My family was getting a newspaper from Michigan, and there was an article in there about somebody that did the Walt Disney World College program, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is for me. And I started diving more into it, looking up, how to register and how to apply for that, and I found out. I went and interviewed. I was accepted, and this was 16 years ago, 2001. Yeah, but I still remember it. Like it was yesterday. It's so many good memories and such a good time. So yeah, I interviewed. I got the acceptance, and off I went to Walt Disney World for a semester and interned at the Magic Kingdom. So that was a lot of fun.
Now, how was it? Because again, we've had people on who've done this, and I honestly I don't know why I never asked this question. Well, maybe it's because I don't want them to feel like they can't be honest. But in your case, obviously, I mean, you don't work for Disney or anything like that, so I think you can be honest. But how was the experience? I think for me, I never knew about the college program. I'm so sad I didn't. I know technically I can still try. They don't actually have a age limit, but. I'm gonna tell my kids about it as soon as they get old enough to try that. But yeah, I never knew about that. And so, yeah. But how was that experience? Do you feel like it was worth doing? Do you feel like maybe it kind of tarnished your view of Disney? Did it make your love of Disney stronger? I mean, how was the actual experience itself?
Oh, for me, overall I loved the experience. Of course, there were ups and downs, and that was my first visit to Magic Kingdom, to everything Disney and being immersed in it. So I, went through the homesickness and this isn't for me. I'm not fitting in here. to just, developing those friendships, and started working and learning more about the company. And for me, it did not diminish the magic or, anything like that. I worked at the Magic Kingdom. So, saw a lot of that behind the scenes, at the tunnels, and, just how things work and how they operate there. And just, I had a blast, and I loved where I worked. I loved my location. I loved the friendships that I made. And if I could go back and do it again, I would.
Well, now you live so close to the park, you technically don't need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that is, I think that's something really cool that Disney offers, and like I said, I know I definitely want to have, a some type of experience like that. I personally am thinking about going back to college, and that's why I'm thinking like, well, maybe I could. I'm like, wait, I have 2 kids, I have a family, I can't just go by myself and live there for 6 months. But I think that's such a cool thing that Disney offers,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, it was a great experience. And of course, you work. It's not all play. Yeah. It's definitely work. Yeah. It's, long hours, busy times, holidays, crowds. It's not all fun in pixie dust all the time. There, you have times where you just get frustrated, and how can I keep doing this? But the whole overall experience, I'm 100% glad that I did it.
Yeah, no, definitely it's work, but it's just, it's one of those things where I think if you can take advantage of getting that kind of experience, and firsthand knowledge about not just Disney but just in general how business works in that way, I think that's a pretty cool thing that they offer. So,
oh yeah,
we got you on here because I've if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen already me kind of post a picture, because Kari, you have a fascination with running, and
yeah, and why is that? Crazy, right?
I think it's an amazing thing. I have Instagram has given us the ability to be able to follow so many cool people, and I've seen so many people take advantage of this where they do the Run Disney. And here's what I've never really understood. When people travel to Disney World to do a Run Disney. So let's break it down. I have no idea when it comes to this kind of stuff, how it works, what it is. How about can you give the Magic Shares an idea of like what is Run Disney? Is it a charity? Do you have to pay a lot of money to do it? I know you get trophies or you get medals, which that's awesome. But like, what is kind of the whole purpose behind Run Disney as far as what you know?
Right. So what I know of it is a chance to run, do programs like running through the park. Mm-hmm. You're running with thousands of other people. And you're running in a place that, you love to be at. So it's kind of a cool experience because you are running on Disney property through the theme parks before park opening, mostly. And just that chance to, cross the finish line, get that medal, you receive a t-shirt, and, just the chance to run at Disney World and or Disneyland and other places as well. And there is a registration fee for participating. So depending on the type of race, 5K, 10K, half marathon, there are fees associated with each one.
I always wondered that because, when we've gone to the parks, we've never seen people like running around us. But I never knew kind of how it worked. Like I thought, like, I always thought they took you, like in a different area that wasn't a part of the parks. But you're saying you actually get to run inside the parks then?
Yes, from my experience, I've run Disney at Walt Disney World, mm-hmm. and they are early in the morning, so before park opening. And usually either Animal Kingdom or Epcot. And your longer races, you'll run through Magic Kingdom, even all four parks. So yeah, it's very early. Runners are up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Getting to the destination, usually they do begin in the parking lot area, and then it starts from there and goes through the route, and then you'll end up back in the parking lot area. And this is all before park opens, all before all the guests start waking up and going and having fun in the parks.
Now, do you have to? I mean, I'm assuming you have to still pay admission if you want to do the parks. It's not like they're like, oh, because you paid to run, you can get in the park for free, right? Or like get in the park after you're running.
Right. Theme park admission is separate from your Run Disney registration. So, if you're an annual pass holder, yeah, or you have, you can get right into the parks. But if you're just coming for your vacation or you're coming to participate in the race, you would need to purchase additional park tickets to get in after the race is over.
Now, I've, like I said, we have, you and I actually have mutual friends on Instagram who do this kind of stuff, or,
Yeah.
But I get to ask you this question. Yeah. Why do you do it? What is the reason behind you saying, okay, I'm going to pay in order to run these, 5K or 10Ks of Disney?
Well, I had participated in local races, and they were 5Ks here in the Tampa area. And so I'd had some experience doing that, and for local charities and things of that nature. And when my annual pass started in 2015, and I started getting back into the Disney community because I had been away from it for about 10 years. And as I started looking, I was thinking, oh, Run Disney. Yeah, I have heard of Run Disney before. And I liked to do races, local charity races outside of the parks. And Disney does them inside the park. And we can run through the theme park with the characters and the music. I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And so even if you just want to do it once, or you catch the bug and you want to keep doing it, I just think it's so much fun. And I did not start out thinking, this is my goal. Run Disney is my goal, and that's what I'm going to do. I just happened to have my annual pass that year, and after doing my local races and my love for Disney, I wanted to experience what that was like, running in the park and running with thousands of other Disney fans, and then getting that bling at the end.
Yes, they do have some impressive medals there. And I wanted to ask you that too, because I have, like I said, I've never seen the full race, but I have seen a little bit. And I even thought we're supposed to, if everything works out well, we're supposed to be going on the cruise this year. And we're my wife and I were talking about
nice.
doing they have what's it called? Now my brain just went. But the little bay that they have, the private island. That
the Castaway Cay.
Yes, thank you so much for remembering it.
Yeah, Castaway Cay. Mm-hmm.
So they have a 5K, I think it's there too. And so we were talking about doing it, but so yeah, how was the experience? Because you mentioned music and stuff. Yeah, do they do stuff like that? Do they have characters out? How does that work?
Yeah, so I thought, because when I had said that I was going to do that, I wanted to know exactly how does this work? Because is it really run? I mean, start line and you're running all the way to the finish line. But no, it's not. It is for all ages, not all ages. There is, I think, teens and up for age restrictions. But you can run, you can walk. And when I say run, I'm more jogging than I am running. I tell people, well, I jog Disney. Don't really run Disney because I'm not running,
Yeah.
But that's what works for me. And you can do that, as long as you stay within their pace requirement and pace being how long it takes you to finish. I think they want you to maintain a 14 or 15-minute mile. So, each mile needs to take you 15 minutes or less to walk, jog, run, or a mixture of each. So that was a relief to me because, I did, like I said, the local ones, but when you hear Run Disney, it's like, oh gosh, it's in the morning, it's through the parks, I'm supposed to run. But as long as you're within those pace requirements, and you will cross that finish line. So, and also what makes it fun is with Run Disney, you get Disney characters, you get Disney music. There are cheer squads, people that are cast members that are encouraging you, they're cheering you on. So that's also, motivation there to keep going and to cross that finish line.
That's awesome. Yeah, that sounds like it's just a lot of fun altogether, just being able to experience that. What is your way of getting ready for something like this? Because like you said, you were running already, this kind of stuff before even Disney. Because I know that there's people out there, like the whole point of the podcast, like I say probably every show, and I don't mean to, but it just happens. It's to bring people like you on to hopefully motivate the listeners to get up and do, right? Get up and start working toward whatever you're doing. Running, regardless whether it's running Disney or running anything else, it takes time, it takes effort, and there's some people who they take it very seriously, they train. Other people who say I just want to experience it, have fun. But what is your process, and how did you even start? Was it something that you said I want to get better at, or you're just doing it just because you want to have fun and experience just the joy of being able to walk and talk with other people.
Right. So when I first decided that I did my first race, and that was in 2015. It was the part of the Wine and Dine 5K. And at that point, I honestly did not train. I did not do anything before that. I just got my gear ready. I went to the race, started it, and finished it. And my legs were sore. So I did not, have any training before that 3.1 miles. But I finished it, and I'm glad that it put me on because I am not by any means an expert. I'm not a full-on runner. I don't have a lot of experience with this, but once I started it, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. And so I want everyone out there to know that you can do this. If I can do it, I can get up and go and walk or jog the 3.1 miles. Anybody can do it. And I've only been participating in Run Disney events for a year and a half now. I've done 6 races. My 7th race is coming up on February 24th. That's the Princess race. And so I'm doing a 10K. And actually the 25th, February 25th, 2017 is the Princess weekend. So when I started, it was just, okay, I'm going to do this one race. And then I thought, you know what, I can make a progression with this. And so it did become my goal to increase my speed and my endurance, and just for health reasons too. I wanted to feel healthy. I wanted to feel like I was doing some exercise. I wanted to, shed some pounds and lose some weight from doing this. And so that became my goal. I started with 5K, and I did a couple 5Ks, and then I thought, okay, I'm ready for a 10K. So I signed up for a 10K, and before my 10K, I would walk at home, just around my neighborhood. I just started walking, and not seriously. I didn't have a regimen. I didn't have a schedule. I just, when I could, I would go out there and walk. And so then I did my 10Ks. And so here I am in 2017, and my new goal now is, okay, I've done my 5K, I've done my 10K, and I feel really great about those. And now I want to do a half marathon. I want to do 13.1 miles. So now, that's my goal. And here I am a year and a half later, and I never thought that this is where I would be. I never thought that this would be my goal. But, I just saw Disney and how much fun people were having. And I wanted to do that. And, anybody can get out there and do that.
Yeah, I think, we don't have Disney here, but I've seen people, do stuff like this, and it inspires me. And I've kind of set my own goal. I know SeaWorld is opening soon here, and they do stuff like that. And I've thought, like, you know what, I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna try it because exactly like you just said, like, everybody has their own personal reasons. For me, it would be more of an accomplishment, like you just said. Like, I've never done something like that, and even when I was at my thinnest, I never took the time to do something like that. And I think it'd be a lot of fun and just a good accomplishment to be able to put on your belt. It's wonderful, I'm sure, when you look at your wall and you see just all of those
Yeah.
medals there. I mean, that's a really big deal. And you said you've only been doing it for a year, but I chuckle because you've done so many, and it's like you're already year or not, you've done more than I know I have, and maybe a lot of other listeners as well. So how do you prepare for a race? Like, do you train aggressively? I know you're saying like you kind of walk around when you first started, but now that you're kind of gotten a little more serious, is it something that you get really serious about, or are you just more like, whatever, I'm just gonna have fun? Or are you drinking eggs in the morning, raw eggs like Rocky?
I am training now, and what's great about the Run Disney website is they have a training section, and Jeff Galloway is part of this training program, and he's well known in the running community, and he has different training programs on there that you can follow if you are training for a 10K, a half marathon, the full marathon, a challenge. And a challenge is if you're going to run a 10K and a half marathon, in that same race weekend. So I went there to Run Disney website, and I went to the training, and I went to Jeff Galloway's program, and that kind of breaks it down really easy for you. And I printed it off, and I just put a check mark or an X over, when I do those runs. And he also uses something that I like, which is a run, walk, run method. So it's, you're resting those muscles and, giving yourself a recovery when you're walking in between your running / jogging. So, what I do now is I will go out for 30 minutes, 2 days a week. So either I'll do like Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Tuesday, Thursday. And then on the weekends, I'll try to run a long run. They call it a long run. So maybe run, 5 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles, and it goes up incrementally. So you can get a good, training session and get your body used to that, so then when it comes race day, you're not, breaking down or feeling like you can't finish. It gives you a good practice run, if you will. So I'm training, 2 to 3 days a week, and that's so that I can prepare for my half marathon, which is later in the fall.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think that's what I was going to say too. It's so important to have goals, and like for me, I personally am really interested in this too because like when I've mentioned on my Instagram, and if you guys follow along on the stories, I'm on my own journey that I said I wanted to do in the beginning of the year to lose 60 pounds, and I've done it before, so I know it's possible. And something that I know really helped me out before was actually cardio, doing a lot of running, and I had been able to. When I had lost all my weight, I followed the advice from Will Smith because everybody does, they try diets and do all this kind of stuff, and I had done the same thing, and nothing really ever seemed to work. And then I remember seeing an interview with Will Smith when he did the movie I Am Legend. Everybody was like, ooh, because he had like 6-pack and all that stuff, and they asked him, how did you get your body in like this high peak physique that you had? How did you do this? And he said, because they said, did you do diets? Did you, avoid whatever? And he said, honestly, I didn't do anything different. He said, but you can pretty much eat whatever you want if you run 6 miles a day. And I thought to myself,
Wow.
that's genius. Like, well, yeah. And here's my naive thinking.
I
I'm
like that. Yeah.
Here's my naive thinking. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm just going to go do that now. It took me a year, and I still never did it. I never actually ran a full 6 miles. But it took me from that beginning of the year when I started my journey then to the end of the year to just be able to do a mix of jogging, walking 6 miles. I never realized how much work was actually, needing to be done. So my goal now is to get back to that level of being able to walk and jog 6 miles. And, for this whole week, I failed every single time. I said I wanted to do 6 miles. And, again, if you follow my stories, you know this. And the reason why I put it up is I want people not to get discouraged. Because even though I never got 6 miles, I was able to walk/jog 3 miles. And that is way more than 0 miles, which is what I was doing, And so I think having a goal, and that's why I bring up, the idea of like when I was asking you, how do you take it, are you, seriously or not? I think it's really cool for people, when you look at your story, how when you first started, it was just kind of like, why not? Let's just try it out. Let's just, maybe, it'll be fun, whatever. And all of a sudden you look down the line and you're training for something that's going to happen later on. And that's awesome because your mindset has changed. Your purpose has changed, and the idea behind what you're doing has changed in a way of, look what I'm going to do. When before it was like, I'm just going to do it, we'll have fun, whatever. Now you're literally having a set goal of, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this happen. And that's why I love, obviously I haven't been able to do Run Disney. If I could, I would, but I love the idea behind it. And that's why, if you guys are listening to this and you're thinking, I can't do what they do, or I can't do that kind of 5K or 10K, don't. No, you just gotta take that first step, and before you know it, your goal is going to grow so different and bigger, and you're going to be able to reach for farther than you've ever done before. So hearing you talk about this, and of course being able to see it when I'm following you on Instagram and Snapchat, to be able to see it happen, it's just a really cool experience. And like I said, I wish I could be at Disney running, but I can't. So I get to do it. I get to live vicariously through you. But, how would you explain to somebody, or how would you, what would you give as advice to somebody who's maybe wanting to enter into the running game here? Like, what would be a good starting? Would it be a 5K? Would it be a 3K, 2K? I don't even know if they have those, but what would be a good kind of starting point for them?
Yeah, I would say look for your local races. You can, sometimes if you know things that are always going on, like we have events here in Tampa. We have Gasparilla that's every January, February timeframe, and it's a parade and it's themed and everything. But they also have races, so you hear about it and you see it advertised, so we know we have that. I would say look for local races in your area, especially with a 5K, because that's where I felt that I was most comfortable. If I'm going to get into this and try it, I'm gonna try a 5K. It's 3.1 miles, and my first 5K, I think I finished it in an hour. Just a little under 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, if I can just advance that, and get, more speed, more endurance to jog longer, I can knock 5, 10, 15 minutes off that and finish quicker, that was, for me, that was my goal. So I started with that 5K. Also on Run Disney, and then you can go to Run Disney's site, and then you can get to Jeff Galloway's site. There is a Jeff Galloway training program. Now, there is a registration fee for that, where you can meet with others locally in your area. So it gives you, every state is listed on there. And then, there's cities. So depending on, which city you live in or which city is closest to you. And there's a team that will meet. Maybe they meet every other Saturday, or they meet every Tuesday, Thursday. And so you kind of have, a team around you where you're all kind of working towards this one goal. You want to, increase your speed. You want to be able to finish the race, and cross that finish line. So those local training programs are great. If you have, it, works with your time and your budget and things like that. I haven't. They just finished one here in the Tampa area for like a half marathon program, so they haven't started their next one up. But I thought about looking into that because if I can get with other people and who are trying to train for this as well, it's always good to have somebody around you that's passionate about what you want to do too. And you can kind of motivate each other. But yeah, I would definitely say start with a local 5K. And, get the experience of, what that feels like, what it looks like, the distance, the timing, and just start there.
Now, I know I could Google this, but and people don't make fun of me because if you know the answer to this. But could you tell everybody, including myself, if not for everybody else, at least for me, what is what? You just said 5K, so that's about 3 miles. So, which one? Well, like, how does it break down? 5K is about 3 miles. What is 10K, 15K?
Yeah, so 5K is 3.1 miles. 10K is 6.2 miles. A half marathon is 13.1 miles. And a full marathon is 26.2 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's serious there.
That's some serious running. That's some very serious running right there. Or run, walk, jogging. And I just did a 15K in December, and that was 9.3 miles. So if you're kind of looking at, you're like 3.1 plus another 3.1, that's 6.2 for your 10K. Mm-hmm. And so I did that 15K, and I could have done a little bit better, but actually I did it and I finished it. But so now my next goal, is the 13.1.
That's awesome.
Half
that
marathon.
Is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, now, Kari, it is time to get into our Disney Power Round.
Let's do it.
And now it's time for the Disney Power Round, where we talk favorite parks, tips, and tricks for your magical Disney trip. Let's bibbity bobbity do this.
So, what is your favorite park and one thing you love about it?
My favorite park is Magic Kingdom. I guess I'm a nostalgic at heart. I love the meaning behind it, the history behind it. It was my home park, if you will, when I was a cast member in the college program. That's where I worked. And I just love all the details that are involved in Magic Kingdom and, how it evolved from Disneyland, park in California. And I just love all that history and the originality of it. I was just at the Destination D event that was hosted by D23 in November here at Walt Disney World. And it was history about Adventureland. They concentrated on Adventureland. And I was just sitting in the audience, just soaking it all in. I just loved everything, the stories and how the attraction came to be and why certain things are the way they are, why they look the way they look, and the colors they use and the sounds. And Magic Kingdom to me just means Disney. And if you are a true Disney lover, you just walk into that park and you're just happy. You just love being there, and it's magical and it's just original and everything Disney to me.
Well, you said it perfect there. Magic Kingdom just is Disney. That's I agree.
Yeah. And
I love that about Disney too. The time that they took to create, and even now that they take to create what they create, it really does it really is a whole different world when you're there. So I love that. What would you then say for that first time Disney goer?
Oh, first time Disney goer, I would say, stay close to the magic. Stay at a Disney resort, even if it's just 2 nights out of your vacation, because you're just in the middle of it, and the resorts feel different. I've stayed, even as a local, I stay there. I stay at the Disney resorts. I've stayed at outside of Disney property, but it just doesn't feel the same. It just feels so magical. Like you're on a Disney vacation when you're at a Disney resort and you have the transportation, you have the theming and, yeah. I mean, and now I would, where to stay, that would, change based on who I was talking to, what kind of environment or amenities or location you want. But, I would say stay on Disney property.
It's funny because you say that, and I don't know if it makes me weird, but one of the things I love to do at the resorts is walk the lobby. I think it is interesting because, like you just said, the detail in every resort you go to, whether you stay there or not, because obviously you can visit all the resorts even if you're not staying there. The lobby, it tells so much of what kind of experience the guests are having. I think if you go to the Grand Floridian, you're gonna see a very not so colorful style lobby compared to if you go to animation or to Pop Century. So yeah, that's I love that though, because for sure the resorts, as much as you might save a couple bucks staying on the outside, it's kind of worth it to me because it's part of the Disney package.
It is.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, your first time, it's just being right there in the middle of it.
For sure. What would you then say, because you are local, but what would you then say for that somebody who goes to Disney multiple times? What would be some tips for them?
Well, I would say enjoy things that you either don't do very often or have not done. It's interesting you asked this because my sister and I, she's also a Disney fan, she lives locally here. We've talked about this because, we are there quite often. But there are things that we just don't do or have never done. And that's one of our plans one day is to go and do those things that we kind of neglect because we don't, it's just like, oh, they're there, we'll do them later. Like the Characters in Flight balloon at Disney Springs. We've never done that, and we were like, why not? Let's go and do that. We've never met Joy and Sadness at Epcot, character meet and greet. And we want to do that. And, or things like Tomorrowland Speedway at Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland. We don't do that, and it's like, okay, but what if one of these days it's not there? And, then we're like, no, we wanted to, that's original and that's Disney. And we never got to do that as much, like Wishes is ending. And it's like, no, so I would say experience those things that you don't experience all the time or something that you just have not done and do those.
Love that. Yes. Always. I don't know. Like it just got real. I think this year even more so. I've said that always experience because you never know what's going to happen with Disney. You never know. And I learned that because we went on the Maelstrom in 2014, and they closed it the next year. Then we found out they were taking down the Magician's Hat in Hollywood Studios, and then we found out, which we never got to experience. We were so sad that they took away Osborne Lights at Hollywood Studios. We were so bummed about that.
I know.
And so, yeah, definitely you want to experience because you never know. They might just be like, oh, we're going to close it. And you'll be like, no. So definitely agree. So, Kari, I want to thank you for coming on. I really had a blast. I really enjoy, like I said, following your Instagram and Snapchat. So where would you like for people to be able to follow you on your adventures of running and, of course, your upcoming run that you have? Where would you like for them to follow?
Yeah, so I am on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat as Kari 9678, and that's Kari Kari 9678, and just told my age there because that's my birthday, 9678.
Yeah, and I'll have that all in the show notes as well, guys. But I really want to, highly recommend you guys follow her and check out her stories, check out her Instagram, check out her Snapchat, and of course, like I said, if you have questions when it comes to running, I'm sure Kari wouldn't mind being able to answer or helping out in that way. But before we do sign off, Kari, I'd love for you to be able to just leave some advice, some encouraging words for the listeners. It doesn't have to necessarily be just running, but what would you tell them about, maybe they're on the fence of wanting to do something, or they've set up a goal and they just feel maybe like they can't get there. What would be some advice that you would give them?
Oh, I'm just thinking there was this quote that just came to me, and it can be, run Disney related, or just a lot of things in your life and situations. And it's a journey, not a race. Because when I hear race, I think, oh, competition and fast and speed, and I got to get it done right now. And but it's not. Setting a goal to do Run Disney, or to get in better shape or be healthy, or fill in the blank with whatever your goal is. It's a journey, not a race. It's just it takes you time. You're gonna be better for it, no matter what you do and the steps that you take to get there. And you're gonna learn so many things along the way. Of course, you're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble, you get back up again. But it's all about that journey. And here I am on my journey. Who knew that this is where I would be a year and a half later? So, yeah.
I love that. That's so true. It's not a journey. It's
a journey,
it's
not
a journey,
a race.
not a
Yeah.
race.
Or you could say, yeah, it's not a race. It's not a race. It's a journey.
Well, I was gonna say it's not a journey; it's a race. Hurry up, guys!
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that though, Kari. That's really great. And I really want to again just thank you so much for coming on. I know it got me excited, and right now while we've been talking, I thought to myself like, yeah, I'm gonna make this a commitment. So hopefully, Kari, you'll see me. If not, you can bug me and be like, what's going on? You'll see me doing a 5K, right? That's a 3-mile one? Yeah, a 5K.
Yes, yes, I can't
soon.
wait to see your pictures from your Disney cruise, Castaway Key,
Yes.
3.1 5K.
Yes, it's because I think that's a real good goal, and I just to be motivated to do something like that I think is really, really awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today, Kari, and I really look forward to everything that you're going to be posting soon. And of course, always you're welcome to come back on when we're talking about this too, for sure. So thank you for coming on and joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We've heard that, you may have heard that phrase before. It's not a race, it's a journey. And when Kari said it in this term, obviously it kind of goes for both, right? I mean, in this case, when we're talking about Run Disney, our idea behind it is trying to get to that finish line. But what's important to remember is, because it's not an actual race, whatever it is you're trying to do, the only way you're going to lose is if you do not do it. You have to get toward it. You have to go toward it, even if it's walking. Kari said she doesn't run Disney, she jogs Disney. And I love that, because that's all that matters, that you're doing it. It doesn't matter if you're doing it faster than the other person. It doesn't matter. It's just important that you're doing it. And so when you see other people, maybe they're at a different, place than where you are. Maybe they're at a better place, or at a place that you want to be. You see where they're at and you get frustrated. I know I do. I get frustrated because I say, why am I here and I'm over here, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, in air quotes, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm in no way, shape, or form near where they're at. And it seems like they're not doing anything to get to where they are. This isn't fair. And, it takes time where you have to kind of just stop and realize, you know what? That's the problem. you are basing where you're at on someone else's success, on someone else's place in the race. Do not do that. You don't know what they've done. You don't know what they've gone through. And you don't know potentially their future. For all you know, also maybe they got it fast. And maybe because of that, they're going to lose it fast. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So why on earth would you base your own success, your own measurements of where you want to be on someone else? That in the end is going to leave you beaten. It's going to leave you frustrated. It's going to leave you confused. It's going to leave you angry. Look to others to motivate you. Look to others to excite you. When you see somebody in a different place and in a place where you want to be, say, you know what? I'm pumped because I know it's possible based on them. And that's why we do this show. You know, I put a tagline because it's something I truly, truly believe. And I put it on my Instagram and Twitter and all that. And it says, I believe anything is well, I'm going to paraphrase it because obviously you have to shorten it. But this is what I was trying to say. I believe anything is possible with faith and hard work. And I interview the people who prove it. And that's what this show is about. Every single person that we've had on here has not had it easy, right? Most of the people that we've had on this show, you know, they're continuing to still do it. Some of them aren't doing what they, you know, were doing when they first started the show. And I like to look back and see where everybody's at in their own journey. And I get, you know, blown away by some of the people who have just skyrocketed. And they've done amazing things because they just kept their head down and forward and kept going because they had a goal, a dream they wanted to accomplish, and they were going to do it. They weren't going to let anyone get in their way. And that's why we do this. When you hear these interviews, guys, I want you to put yourself in these guests' shoes. Not to say, ooh, I want to be like them and I'm going to copy what they do and I'm going to get $1 million or whatever. No, it's not that. It's to put yourself in the shoes and say, whoa, they're in the same position that I'm in. They were in the same position that I'm in. You know, we've had teachers, we'd have mothers, we've had, you know, pure outright entrepreneurs. We've had people who literally do 9 to 5 because they love their job, but they do something like the podcast or their own travel agency because they enjoy doing that on the side and they have a passion for that. We've had people like Panda and Lou who have literally dedicated their life and moved, Corinne, who have moved to the area of Florida to be close to Disney and really pursue their goal and their passion. Like there was, and I'm going to keep interviewing people because I want somebody who listens to the show to be able to relate to somebody who's on the show. I don't want excuses. I want to help you get out of that. I want to help you say, you know what? I can do this. I have a goal. I have a dream. I want to lose weight. I want to do better at my job. I want to be a better father. I want to move to Disney. I want to live, you know, a certain way. I want to own my own business. I want to try doing Etsy. I want to try doing my own shop. Like, do it. You know, it's just about really understanding how important it is to actually do it because it's not a race, it's a journey. And if you do not get up and start your journey, you will lose the race. You will lose the end game and you will have regrets. Don't let that happen. Enjoy the fact that you're alive, that you're breathing, and you have a chance to do something that you want to do. You have a chance to pursue your own goal, your own dream that you have. Don't let excuses get in your way. They're valid. That's great. I hear them. I understand them. But they are not a reason to not pursue what you were wanting to pursue. So, again, kind of went off there. But I hope you guys are pumped up. That Kari got me pumped up. I hope you guys are as pumped up as I am. I want you guys to please go follow Kari on her Instagram and Snapchat, whatever you're more comfortable with, and check out what she's doing there. I know she's training right now to do her run Disney there, and she puts up, you know, pictures and videos and all the good stuff of Disney, of course, too. So be sure to go check it out. Of course, like I said, you guys, you know, can follow me on my own journey, and I want to know what you're doing. What are your goals? Shoot me an email. Shoot me a DM on Twitter or on Instagram and let me know. Say, hey, look, I have this goal that I want to accomplish and I'm working toward it. This is what I'm doing. I'd love to know. Never hesitate to reach out. But I hope you guys have a wonderful night, day, week, whenever you're listening to this. I'll be talking with you tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow's another episode. It's a Monday. So we're going to do some more motivation. Get the week started off right. Have a great night, day, week, whenever you're listening to this. And as always, stay magical.
This was the Talk About the Magic podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay magical.